Hi there, Beavers. So tonight I'll be speaking about the PvP and really the basics. So how to actually understand a fight in EVE Online. So we'll go through what the different kind of ship, their role, like the speed, the signature, and different kinds of stuff like that. So let's start right away. And if you got questions, you can type it in the chat live. You can also, if you're watching not live, you can ask your question in the comment below. We'll be answering them as well. So, let's go on the right page. There you go. So those are not all real symbols, so forget those here. Yes, because it's not working. There you go, like that. So 2 minutes ago, the pen was working. Now it's not.
Of course it don't.
Yeah, because live stuff. Always something. Okay, well, does the pointer work at least? Not even the pointer. That's super great. Oh yeah, okay. So forget those here. Okay, those do not exist. It's the post from the forum. So it's stop at Titan. Okay. What do we have here? Some of you actually might have seen a lot of those icons. Well, let's say up to here if you're new, and you mix them all together. They are all the same, and that's not really helping you in any way, shape, or form. So, let's say that you're starting the game. You'll get your Corvette. Okay, so the Corvette is really like the ship that you can have for free. Okay, in every single station, NPC station or anywhere. That's like the rookie ship that they call. It's only like a little angle like that, and you won't be able to do much with that. It's really not good. Then you get into the first category where like you can actually do a lot of things with the frigates. So it's the little triangle. The frigates have a lot of subcategory. There are like T2 frigates that are more powerful. A lot of stuff to have with that kind of ship. So let's say that you're in a frigate. One of the things that you want to watch for is those one here that are the destroyers. So it's like a frigate but with like this little bar underneath, which means that like it's the same size as the frigate, but it's really higher DPS. And it's mostly built to kill frigate. So level 2 eat level 1 up to here, pretty simple. Okay, you got like T2 and T3s destroyers that are even more efficient at killing frigates. The destroyers are like a big, let's say, a characteristic is being able to do a lot of DPS, but they don't necessarily have the same advantage speed wise as a frigate. Then you got the third category. Okay, so the third category and the fourth one are medium-sized ship. The two first are like a small size ship. Now we just up a notch and we get into the medium sized ship. So the cruiser that are like some of the most used ship in nullsec and a lot of places. Then you got the battle cruiser. So same thing as the frigate. So there's a little bar underneath, meaning that it's like really great against those one. Okay. One thing that you need to understand, like medium-sized ship are really slower than the small-sized one, which means that generally, like a swarm of those small one will be faster than the rate of fire and the tracking of those here. So having a lot of a lot of frigate against cruisers is usually be quite efficient. And the biggest the ship is, like the difficult like the more difficult it gets to actually get small size ship. So yeah, so the cruiser have like a lot of variety. It's one of the class that got the most diversity into them, which means that there's so much fun to have with those as well. Then you get into the battle cruisers. What's fun with the battle cruiser is they are cruisers, but that can equip battleship size weapon, which makes them really effective. Can think about tornadoes and such that have let's say a really big alpha because they are using battle size gun, but they don't have, let's say, all the power and the armor, the tank of a real battleship. But still, really a good play here. And also those battle cruiser have the ability to actually give boost, like a buff if you want. The same thing as some of the the destroyers, that some of them in T2 variant can give boost. Then you got those one here that are the battleships. So those battleships are actually quite powerful. It's like the highest grade that you can use in high sec, because it's not what is considered to be capitals. Okay, so those here can be actually are really powerful in high sec. They cost a lot more. You got a lot of variant into them. Marauders is one of the T2 variant of those battleships. So those here, really powerful. Then from there on, and please forget those are like just memes. Level 6, 7, 8, 9, and 10 are all capital size ship. I'll just go through them like quite fast so that you can actually understand. Level 6, it's what we call a dreadnought. The dreadnought is meant to be like a ultra DPS. It's like he siege and he does a really big ton of damage. All those, like let's say up to level 8, are approximately like same, let's say, categories. Okay, so the dreadnoughts are really strong to actually kill the battleship, but they, like in great number, they can actually get like those titans and supers because it's like really high DPS ships. Then you got those here called the carriers. So the carriers are like a gameplay in themselves because you got like a lot of let's say swarm with them. So you're controlling like let's say your own mini fleet with with this carrier, which is another kind of gameplay, really interesting, but that can only be happening in low sec, no sec, Pudven, there's still some there, and wormholes. So level 6, 7, and 8 can actually happen in wormholes. Those two here are too big for wormholes, you won't see them there. So level 7 is the carrier. Level 8 are the faxes. So the force auxiliary, what are their purpose? Healing. They heal fast, like with their triage mode activated. It's really, really great stuff there. Then you got into the upper category with what we call the the super cap. So we got like two kind of ship in the super cap category, which are the super carrier. So it's like the carrier but with a little bar underneath. And those you'll see them like in sometimes low sec, but mostly in null sec. It's like the carrier, but they got bigger and heavier fighter squad and more of them. They are like really a force to recon with, and they are really expensive, but not as much as this level here, the Titan. Quite a versatile ship, but let's say that Titan and Super Carrier are also called coffins. Reason being that if you don't have a keep star to park them in, well, you need to like get to keep your tune into the said ship. Otherwise, well, you cannot do anything. So for those, you need to have relations in like either in your alliance or with someone that you really, 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 really trust to get like access to a keep star. So everything that is from like level 6 to 10 is called a capital, and the last two level here super capital, and everything that is under like 6, so 5 through rookie, it's what we called sub capital. So if you got like an FC that says a sub cap jump, it means that if you're a battleship, a battle cruiser, destroyer, frigate, you jump. You won't be in a rookie ship. Well, you might in some weird fleet, but usually not. That's it for the kind of ship and their icon that you're gonna see on the overview. Do we have any question in the audience, or is it really, really clear? I will let you a few seconds to actually ask your question if you have. Okay, thank you. Perfect. So actually, let's close that. And let's have a look here. We got that. So you know this thing here, right? So it's the same symbol, okay? So if we look from afar, those are the frigates, the destroyers. You got here, it's the cruiser. Here you got the battle cruiser, the battleships, and here all the like the capitals. So from there and to this side is what we call sub-capitals, okay? So remember, the bigger the ship is, the slower the ship is too. Meaning that like if you want to get advantage of, let's say, to attack someone, you will need to actually pin it down, and to do so, usually we're gonna use either a frigate or a destroyer. That's why, like when we are in fleet, usually you get scouts. Okay, the role of the scout is to like find a target quickly, pin it down so that the rest of the cavalry can actually get to it and kill it. So scouts are one of the usually a first good tackle. Sometimes you're gonna have like your prey is gonna be too big, so you'll need a lot of scouts. Or if you're machinery, if you're either like in wormhole space or in nullsec, you can use those ship here. So the interdictors are, well, you got the destroyer here, so it's a T2 variant. Here in the M.E.R 3 is what we call the saber, that can make temporary bubbles of anti-warp. So the idea with those bubbles is to like you get to a ship, well, if it's slow, you just like pop your bubble around it, and you won't have time to get out of it if like you get webs on it and everything. Also, what's fun with those bubble is that you can catch more than only one target at a time. So you can get like a whole fleet with it, and you can actually have up to 3 of those bubbles in your launcher before you need to reload it. The reload is something like 1 minute, if I'm not mistaken. So you have to go through to follow the enemy group without being shot, which is always the goal. So that's one of the fun tackle that you can have in Wormhole Space and Nullsec. You got like the same one if you got into Galente. You're gonna have like the Ares here. In the Cavalry, you're gonna have like the Flycatcher, and in the M.E.R, gonna get the Heretic. What's even better is like when you get into those. Okay, I'll just stick with the tackle. Sorry, I was going on somewhere else. I don't want to go there just now. Okay. Tackle wise, you also got those big one here. Those are the heavy interdictors. Okay, so heavy interdictors are really interesting because in Wormhole and Nullsec, they can make like a real big bubble around them and that they're just gonna follow them instead of in the destroyer that get like the bubble that stay behind. This one is following the heavy interdictor all around. And not only that, those big guy here that are cruiser size, and let's say here, let's say Onyx, can also have like script that can be put on their high slot module to put an infinite point on something, so that no matter how many warp stab the vessel has, it won't be able to warp. That's actually what you need to hold a Titan down, because the Titans have like a lot of warp core stabilizer strength, and those guys are the one like to actually be that are able to pin them down. They usually are also quite heavy tanked, so compared to a Titan, it's usually strong enough to hold it down up to a point. Okay, so you need to have like your force with you. Yeah, so that's basically it. Like as a fast pass into everything that is to tackle. So the goal of the tackle is really to get a prey and hold it down for like the other one to come and help you. You got like other role in the fleet. So I spoke a little bit about the scouts that need like to actually hunt the prey and get them down. You got the tackle that is actually the different kinds of people that can actually get the get the prey itself. You know, it might be like a second tackle or what to hold the prey down. But you also got the DPS that are like the damage dealer that that kill the thing. And also you might have what we called Logi. Okay, so the logistic, let's say you got like logistic in, well, a few size. You got like logistic frigates, and you got logistic cruisers. And you got like their T1 variant as well, so which is here the band 10 for the cavalry, and here you got the Osprey. If you're like a cavalry, you got the same the equivalent in the other races. So those are there as let's say to help with giving shield back or armor back to your fleet, so that your fleet can stay up longer. There's a few extra roles that can be added to a fleet to have more fun in it. And one of them is the command destroyer. Okay, so command destroyer are really fun, but a little bit hard to master. Because they got what they call the micro jump field generator. Okay, so that's gonna push like a whole section of the fleet that is like all around the command destroyer, 100 kilometer in the way that that it's facing. So that way, if you got like a big fleet in front of you, you can like get like the command destroyer into it, get a few of the pilots like really far away, and have your fleet in that place to get it down. Sorry. So that's actually some kind of gameplay that can be really fun. Or you can actually do the same thing but with your own fleet being 100 kilometers away and teleporting directly onto the enemy, or to actually get out of a sticky situation by having one like in your team. So that's a role into itself. It's also with the same ship, but with the command destroyer, it's also a small size ship that can have boost, and there's a lot of boost that can be like applied to a battlefield, up to 12 of them. It can really make your fleet really strong. So those are like really like powerful in themselves. If you're going to everything that is boost, one of the things that you want to look into is the battle cruisers. In each races, you got those that got like those command bursts and really got like a really good advantage to your fleet as well. Then there's like some weird thing, because remember that we got let's say the marauders here, let's say like the golem or like the vargur, that are like a really big ship, hard to get down. What could you do like against them if you're say like you're a small group and that you don't get like a lot of like say of means? Well, one of the things that is really nice is what we call the bomber. So the bomber that are like in the same tree as the cover up. So if you're looking to get like really good in scanning and such, it's the same to get like the bomber. And the bomber, not only yes they can have bombs that's like into it, but the other thing is the torpedoes. Torpedoes are battleship size weaponry, meaning that you're in a small ship that can warp cloaky, be really fast against something that cannot cloak and that is really not fast. So getting a bunch of those bombers all around the like a marauder, having enough DPS to be able to get it down, that's a good way to actually go. And for sure use a lot of E.W.A.R. E.W.A.R. That's actually like another section. There's a lot of type of E.W.A.R. Okay. You got well, actually, let's show you how to get the information. You got the agency. Most of you like you know the agency, okay? So in the agency you got a section here called the help section. You go there. In the help section you got subsection here. Okay, so scanning, explorer, soldier of fortune, sorry, combat mechanic, enforcement, industrialist. And like let's say like I'm in the combat mechanics mostly. You'll see here you got different kinds of video that you can all watch. So the the ECM, that are like the electronic countermeasure. It's something that is used to make someone lose its target. So really useful. Like the only person, like the only one that can actually target, like you see here, he does target this one. They lose like the ability to target his friends, but he can be targeted by the other one. So if you got a good range, you can actually EMC someone and easily don't get targeted because you got too much of a range with your target, meaning that they cannot target you back. Then you got the energy neutralizer, that are the one that is getting the capacitor out of your enemy. And after that, the sensor dampener, that is made to reduce the range at which your target can actually lock another target. I mean, so if you combine the ECM with the sensor dampening, you got something really strong because they cannot do anything. Spiral cycle can go into that. Then target painting. Okay, so it's like you point a lot, like the target painter as at a ship, and what it does, it make it like bigger, what we call the signature. So the bigger a ship is, the easiest it is to actually hit it, and the better the damage application of missiles, bombs, and all those great stuff is gonna be. So if you were in a bomber, having like target painting is usually quite great. Then you got warp disruptor. So pretty much explains it. It's to actually get take away the ability of your target to warp away. So really useful. And be sure that when you do your warp disruption, you do warp disruption first, then you do the web. Okay? The reason behind that, to get into warp, you actually need to get to 55% of your maximum speed. But if you got a web that reduced your maximum speed, and you're let's say halfway through there, but you the maximum getting reduced, your speed is still the same, so it can get above 75% of your warp speed, and then you hit, your target enters warp and you lost it. So that's really important to get the target warp disrupt, then web, not the other way around. So that's good. Then you got warp disruption, weapon disruption. So let's have a look at this one. If you're not using missiles, your turret has a speed to actually be able to follow the target. Okay. So if you're faster than the speed of the turret, you're all good. The weapon disruptor makes this turret be slower. Okay, so that's something that you want to look into because it can actually save you a lot of problems. So yeah, you got two kinds, one for the missiles and the other one for the turrets. Okay, let's start again. Also, if you like what we're doing here, please give it a thumbs up and a follow, and don't even forget the little bell icon so that you actually get notified when we got a new video or where we're about to go live. So on this, we have question on everything that I just spoke about. So yeah, Bomber like Star Wars, yes indeed. And there's a few similarities there. Weapon disruptor tracking. So yes, I spoke about tracking. Oh yeah, spiral cycles. That's actually one of the things that you need to understand for actually be able to do a nice toggle. Okay, so let's see how they show it here. So if you go front, you just get blown because like the turret doesn't have to move. But if you go by the other side, the turret has to actually try to get to you. So that's a little bit, well, a lot harder because you keep spinning around the target, so it's quite hard to get. Icons, signatures. Oh yeah, and you got like different kinds of damage. Here you go. Here, let's clips. Okay, so yeah, so there's different kind of damage depending on the weapon that you're using. The weapon itself does damage. Your target has different kinds of damage resistance. You want to hit your target usually ideally in the place that hurt the most. So that's by doing like actually a lot of either PvP or PvE, and actually looking at those type of damage to be sure that you hit them at the right place. So if you're using, let's say, projectiles and such, look into the different kinds of projectiles. They have not only different kinds of damage, but in the same projectile category, you'll get also range modification, tracking modification. So those are like really important. So, and also some ammunition is gonna do more damage. Not only that, look into the show and form of your ship. So actually, let me get into one example here. Let's say I'm here. For right now, let's have a look at this ship here. So here you see I'm with Castadamo, the character. I go on traits. So we talked about that frigates are small ships. This ship is actually a projectile turret specialized. It's made for combat, duh. And it's a M.E.R ship, and most of M.E.R have the option to be either armor or shield. You'll see that most of the Galante ship is going to be armor, same thing for the M.E.R, and most of the Caldari ships going to be shield. So here you see like with a skill level, what's gonna be happening with your small projectile fall off or rate of fire. That are like other things that to take into consideration, because you might have a low rate of fire, but a really big alpha. Which take us to what's an alpha? Great question. That's your ship fitting window right here. Okay. On the offense, you got the DPS here, and you got the Alpha Strike. So the Alpha Strike is like how much damage does it make when it hits the target like one time. There's no it's not a per time unit. So let's say here I'm at 178. Okay. But I have like a good rate of fire, meaning that like it's gonna be like one after the other, meaning that I've got like nearly 100 DPS with that. Like it's a fast rate of fire, sorry. And if I got like even better skill with that tune, I'm gonna have like even like a better damage application because it's gonna be firing faster. Okay, and you got the fall off here. Actually, fall off. I haven't spoke about the fall off, but let's say that I do not know what the fall off is. Okay, I go back into the agency. I'm into the help section, and let's say I've got to well, it should be a combat mechanic, and let's say I should have fall off somewhere. Maybe in Soldier of Fortune. Or search here. Fall. Optimal range. What does that tell us? Well, it does tell me that it's bug. Okay, so here you say fall off range. Okay, so the optimal range is under like the fall off. The fall off being like the border here. So where you get actually 100% of damage. Okay, then you got the fall off range from the from the fall off range to twice the distance. Your chance to hit diminish. Okay. And if you're, well, thank you. Yet, if you're twice the fall off range, you're nearly at 0%. So the fall off is like really where like you start missing, and it's harder to actually get your target. So basically, it's the precision for your projectile to get to it. So see here, like you got like pretty much everything you need to help you understand like what has to do with the combat mechanics. Okay, so I was speaking about the alpha. That's the alpha strike. Sometimes you're gonna have guns that are do like a really big alpha, but don't have a great like a rate of fire. Usually with those, you want to have like an alpha big enough to just blow up your target in one go, which is the case with a few Minotaur ships and such. So I have like the Tornado that comes to mind, but there's also like a lot of other ones. So also when you get like into a fleet, the idea is to fire all at once on one target, so it actually just explodes, so that the Logi do not have time to repair them. So that's the idea there. I think I've got quite everything. Yeah, bomber, that's been done. Signatures, speed, weapon. So yeah, those were pretty much the basics. Before I go, please, it's time for the questions. So ask your question in chat if you got any. That is a really good time to do so. Oops, here you go. I'm gonna actually make that disappear. Easier to read. I'll still give you a few seconds if you got questions. That has a weird color. Sorry. Okay, so thank you everyone, and don't forget to like and subscribe for the channel. We really do appreciate every single comments too. It really helps us. Like we've been on YouTube for only a few weeks now. Before we were on Twitch, and our growth on YouTube is just like really great. We do want to thank everyone for what they've been doing. Thanks everyone. Thanks ArcBeaver, and see you next time. We got our Beaver show on this Tuesday afternoon. Evening. So see you on Tuesday. Au revoir.